Chapter 15, Probability. Make me happy, capybara. Edward told Alice it was an old vision before he knew he loved Bella. You don't love her. You have to build up to love, dude. You've just stalked her, and she just info dumped about her life. Alice shows him a vision of her dead, thinking it's the same place, the meadow. She showed him the other. He says he'll cancel or keep his distance or leave. Alice says it's still a possibility he can't stay away, and a vision of it's like new moon with Bella as a blob because he left. Like, girl, you need to get a life. A man is the icing on the cake. You can eat the cake without the icing. She showed him a vision of him sneaking into her room, and he says he shouldn't have come back, and Alice shows him a vision of when he didn't love her and he came back to hunt her. Because those are the only options, huh? Edward yells at her to give him something that'll make it work. She gives him a 60% chance, but she'll be a vampire. Dead either way. Alice says it all ties to what happens in the middle, a decision. She doesn't know what. There's a sketchy third way, and she shows him a vision of all three of them in Bella's living room, and she's older, and he's happy for her still being human. Alice says there's her wishes to account for, and Alice just gives him encouragement. But Edward thinks of killing himself. So the monster would die. But how none of his family would do it. No shit. And the vampire higher-ups, the Volturi, would endanger Bella for knowing. You mean like the shit you pulled in New Moon? And Alice calls it a 70% now. How could he prepare for it? They run into the forest, he following Alice to a line. He hesitates because of the population issues in the park. She says live a little, and Edward eats it without even being hungry. Because, like, nature conservation. Like, what? Who cares? You guys are all monsters in more way than one. And then he follows Alice, who has a vision of him bringing Bella to his house to meet the family. Probably on Saturday or Sunday, after the meadow thing. And he wants Jasper prepared. She wants Jasper prepared. And is confident Bella will be fine. The future isn't set in stone, you know this. And they go home, and Carlisle has the same questions he did, and Edward lets him know he still doesn't have an answer, and Carlisle understands his pain. Ugh. Edward takes a shower. Yeah, because he's probably covered in forest crap and gore from killing all those animals. And he almost forgot his fear Bella would have of him. Repulsive. And a paragraph of how Alice chooses their clothes, but they still don't blend in, because you make no effort to blend in. And he finds a shirt Alice bought on a whim, like she sensed years before the need for it, and he thinks he hasn't seen Bella in a few hours. Is she safe? She's at home. Yes, she is. Ugh, you are so obsessive. You need help, dude. And he sneaks to her house again. She's doing laundry, and she still didn't tell Charlie where she's going. And Edward wonders why Bella is using a blow dryer on her hair, and believes she wanted to look nice for him tomorrow. And he waited hours to be sure she was sleeping, and he sneaks into her bedroom, and Edward remembers his first Christmas with Carlisle in 1919. He kept him mostly isolated for a year, and it took him years before he got accustomed to the ugly human faces. There's a paragraph going on how he finds humans ugly. Ugh. He tested his control for short periods, and Carlisle believed he was too gifted to fail. And he knew he would miss his human life, but Edward didn't care for it. and he sent Edward for a walk. And when he came back, Carlisle had a tree in their apartment, and they decorated it, and the next night they visited friends after midnight. Carlisle led him off to hunt in a forest, and they ran into the old vampire friends. It's the Irish Coven. I can't pronounce their names. And Edward wondered why Carlisle kept him away from their own kind. Were he and Carlisle a coven? And in a paragraph, several paragraphs describing the Irish Coven, they notice Edward's eyes, and Carlisle introduces him, and Edward reads their thoughts, and he wonders at their word gift, and he hears them calling him a poor boy for Carlisle, keeping him from killing humans, and they stayed until the next night, and Edward asked Carlisle about it. In another long paragraph, Carlisle gives them their motives and their backstory, and they return to a reclusive life after finding Esme and turning her. But Edward still wondered at their thoughts that night, and several years later he went off on his own to hunt humans, rationalizing it. Years later he gave up and struggled to control himself again. And now the greatest joy in his life is Bella, and Alice Costas say his number is 80% now. And that's chapter 15. Halfway through. Okay.